Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is John Fillmore, and welcome back to the Stuff of Legends. Now, last time, if you remember, we were talking about Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre. Now this time we're going to complete the set. We're going to talk about the granddaddy of all dragons, the beast that broke Ubers for crying out loud, Mega Rayquaza. Now, I want to show you something before we get started. Let's see if we can watch a battle. Battle spot, no, VGC 2016. Alright, so let's see if we can find a Mega Rayquaza. No Rayquaza, no Rayquaza. Okay, moving on. Rayquaza, well, there's a Zygarde, and that's Xerneas, but nope, not what I'm looking for. Moving on. Let's go for another one right here. No, and no. Okay. Let's see what we got here. We got two primals. We got one primal, but no Rayquaza. Okay. This is kind of weird. Well, actually, no, I know why, but no Rayquaza, no Rayquaza. Moving on. No Rayquaza, no Rayquaza. You're seeing plenty of primals and things like that, but I think you guys are kind of getting it that Rayquaza is a lot. Ooh, it's even Dialga. That Rayquaza is not as common as the other primals, right? Which is a bit unfortunate. Yeah, see, no Rayquazas. Which is a bit unfortunate because this thing is an absolute beast if you know how to work with it, right? Again, you are kind of offering up your Mega Slot for this, so maybe you want to, possibly trade that Mega Slot in for a Mega Kangaskhan or something like that. But a Mega Rayquaza is still incredibly powerful. So, let's go right into it. There you go. Okay, so, let's look at Rayquaza. Now, what is Rayquaza? Well, Rayquaza, first of all, is my favorite legendary. It's awesome. It's a dragon flying, right? With most of its investment actually being in attack. So it's not like a Groudon or a Kyogre, right? A Groudon was more focused on physically offensive with some higher physical defense, right? While a Kyogre was kind of the inverse, right? Remember that? It was it was more invested into its special defense and a special attack, right? This thing, not so much. The reason why is because Rayquaza is actually, the savior of Hoenn, right? It fought against Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre in order to maintain peace, right? And in order to do that, you can't really give just like full investment into its attack while kind of forgetting about its special attack, right? Then you can kind of kill Kyogre, but you can't really kill Groudon. And if you give investment into only its special attack, you can't really kill Kyogre, but you can't kill a Groudon. So that way, you need to. I think Game Freak specifically said, okay, I want to make sure that this thing can take out both Rayquaza or both Kyogre and both Groudon. It's hard to keep the names in my head. I'm sorry, but in that case, it is a very offensive threat. It has 150 attack and 150 special attack. That's nice. It makes it for a very nice mixed sweeper. Now, HP is 105. That's not bad. Defense 90. Okay, that's doable. Special defense 90. Okay, still doable. Speed is 95. Now, usually with a sweeper, you want it to be a little bit quicker, but that's kind of one of the downfalls of Rayquaza. It's not that fast. It's actually under the 100 speed tier, and that can be a bit of a cripple. So the thing is, like, one of the main reasons Rayquazas are not that much used is because they're missing some boost in its speed, and things like Greninja, things like Hydreigon, things like Hydreigon, I think, can outspeed it. Things like Garchomp, they can all outspeed it and do some massive damage on Rayquaza. So that it is a bit of a. Well, the thing is, Rayquaza is very, very, very powerful, if you know how to use it and if you avoid the bumps in the road, right? Now let's take a look at its ability. Airlock. While this Pokemon is active, the effects of weather conditions are disabled, right? So let's take a look what that does exactly in Servi. All weather conditions are negated while the Pokemon is on the field. If I am correct, Airlock does not negate Primordial Sea or Desolate Land. But I don't know, I'm not sure. It's a little bit of a finicky thing with that, so you need to be kind of careful with that. I don't think... I'm gonna take a look at the weather conditions. No, it's not in there. Okay, we'll get to that in a sec. But in any case, it takes care of the weather conditions that normal Kyogre and normal Groudon try to set up, right? So, negates those. So, let's take a look at some of its... Actually, no, you know what? If you... Moves I'll get to later. Items we're going to do right now. Items are interesting with just a normal Rayquaza. You could theoretically go for something like a Life Orb, right? If you want to have a good mixed attacker, Life Orb is the way to go. You can go for a Focus Sash, you know, dealing with things like Ice Beam and Dragon moves and things like that. So you can set up maybe with a Dragon Dance, which it does have. Or maybe even Tailwind. It has Tailwind as well. Let me see. What you could theoretically go with a Lumberry. You could go with a Citrus Berry, Rocky Helmet. Just a lot of things out there. But like I said, with most legendaries that can actually go a step higher, Rayquaza. Usually, if you do see a Rayquaza in VGC 2016, it's usually not a normal Rayquaza. It's usually a Mega. Normal Rayquazas do actually happen, but Mega Rayquazas are much more powerful, right? So that's why we're going to switch to Mega Rayquaza. Now, Mega Rayquaza, oh boy, where do I even start with this thing? This thing is a monster. It is disgusting. Like, let's take a look at its stats first. It has 105 into its HP, so nothing changed there. 180 in its attack and 180 in its special attack. So this thing is a wicked mixed attacker. Defense, it got a buff of 10. Special defense, it got a buff of 10. And speed, it got, let me see, it was 95 now, so it's 115. So you got a 20. It got a 20 boost, so now it's just above the 100 speed tier. Still not as fast, but you can work with it, right? And it becomes an insanely powerful mixed attacker, or just a mono attacker, right? If you're like, you know what, I want to go with all physical or all special, that's fine too. Those are pretty much the three things that Rayquaza is really good at. It's mono, well, not mono, I use that word wrong. It's a physical sweeper, a special sweeper, or a mixed. One of those three, right? But because it can do it, it can do all of them equally well, you need to be kind of careful when you're facing one to be like, okay, is it a mixed, or is it a special, or is it a physical? I don't know. And let's take a look at some of its moves. Draco Meteor, it can learn that, which is nice. It's a stab move. You do reduce your special attack by 2, which is not that great, but works well in a mixed on a mixed Rayquaza, right? If you need something to really kill it. Outrage, so it can learn Draco Meteor and Outrage at the same time. That's pretty cool. It lasts for 2 or 3 turns and confuses the user afterwards. You all know what Outrage does. It can also learn Dragon Claw or Dragon Pulse, right? If you don't want the secondary effects that come from Draco Meteor or Outrage, you can go for the Dragon Claw or the Dragon Pulse, right? Let's see what else it's got. It's got Extreme Speed, it's got Earth Power, it's got Earthquake, right? So, taking care of a couple of those primals while you're at it. It has Air Slash, it has Ancient Power, which is kind of nice for that 10% chance to increase all stats. It has Aqua Tail, it has Avalanche, Blizzard, Body Slam, not quite sure why you'd want to have that. But it works. Brick Break, Bulk Up, really? Oh wow. Crunch, Double Edge, Draco Meteor, we already said that. Dragon Ascent. Now this is pretty much the signature move of Rayquaza. It has 120 power flying, so it's a stab, coming off of 180 physical attack, right? That's really nice. Going back to there you are. 100% accuracy, which is really nice. APP, okay. The user does actually lower its special defense and its special, or its defense and its special defense, there we go, by 1 stage. So pretty much it's like close combat. But, you know, everyone knows how good a close combat can be, and since this guy doesn't really depend on its defenses anyway, it can just start hammering away with a dragon ascent, although it's then easier to kill, but, you know, it still hammers like a ton of bricks. It has Dragon Dance, like I said. The user's attack and speed go up by 1, so a Dragon Dancing physical Rayquaza works really, really nicely. It's got Dragon Tail to actually force switch outs. It's got Energy Ball, for crying out loud. It's got Facade, Fire Blast, Flamethrower, Focus Blast, Frustration, Hone Claws, Hyper Voice, Ice Beam, Iron Head for the fairies. Outrage said that. Overheat, Protect, Rest, Return, Roar, Rock Slide, Shadow Claw, wow. Sweep Talk, Stone Edge, Substitute, Surf, Swords Dance, Tailwind, Thunder, Thunderbolt, Thunder Wave, Toxic. It even has V-Create and Waterfall. Now, V-Create is a special one because it was only released in Japan as an event, right? And I think it was actually a shiny Rayquaza, but V-Create is the signature move of Victini. Actually, I'll bring her up. Victini, there we are. And let me see, V-Create is a 180 power fire move, and it's a physical move, right? With 95% accuracy, the only problem is it then lowers the defense, special defense, and speed of the user by 1 stage, right? But still, I mean, that's an insane move to use. And if Rayquaza can learn it, again, you probably won't find a legit English Rayquaza with V-Create, but you can do it here in Showdown, so that's awesome. V-Create isn't all that much used, I have to say, but still, it's crazy. So it has so much potential to actually use. You can do whatever the flip you want with it, and it will run it, and it will be running it well. And ability is Delta Stream. Now, Delta Stream, on switch-in, strong winds begin until this ability is not active in battle. It's like Primordial Sea or Desolate Land. Let's bring her up, actually. Let me see, what does it say? Create strong wind weather. This lasts until the Pokemon exits battle, and weakens moves used on flying-type Pokemon that would be super effective, right? So basically, this thing has now turned into a mono dragon. Yeah, pretty much a mono dragon. A mono dragon. Weird. But it's a dragon type, so it pretty much semi-loses its flying type while still getting flying stab. Which, you know, is like, what? But it's kind of cool. And the thing is, with doubles, right, because I have actually a VGC team, bring her up, a VGC team doubles, right? And Delta Stream works well for other flying types, right? So that's why I actually have this shiny Mega Rayquaza with a Togekiss, right? Where the Togekiss is kind of like a cleric. It has Follow Me, Air Slash, and Thunder Wave, while this Rayquaza can actually set up with a Dragon Dance, while Togekiss then uses Follow Me, give him a little bit of extra, and then you can just hammer with a Dragon Claw or a Dragon Ascent, right? And that way, you also give some protection to Togekiss, because the Togekiss can actually then, you know, it's not very effective, or it loses super effectiveness from rocks, from electric, and from ice. So all that works very, very nicely. But anyways, there we go. Back to these guys. So Delta Stream is an interesting one, and especially in doubles. You can work with that as well. It doesn't only need to be for Rayquaza itself, it can also be for, you know, your other teammates. But I think we kind of need to address the elephant in the room. The real reason why Mega Rayquaza is so incredibly, awe-inspiringly powerful is because it doesn't need a Mega Stone to evolve. So, go with me here. I think everyone who's kind of been in the competitive arena, there we go, the competitive arena, for a little while, knows how annoying it is when someone sweeps you with a I don't know, a Mega Salamence, right? Mega Salamence, you're like, well, crap, this thing is kind of powerful, but alright, we'll work with it. And then it goes for something like the D-Dance or something, and you're like, well, I'm screwed, can't do anything now. And then it just, you know, mops the floor with you. And, you know, late at night, you're wondering, just before you go to bed, you know what, that did suck, but I'm very happy it didn't have an item like, I don't know, a Life Orb or something, or a Focus Sash, or, heaven forbid, a Choice Band, right? And, you know, you fall asleep in comfort knowing that it's gonna be okay. Not this thing. This thing can have any item that you want to give it to it. So a Focus Sash, a Life Orb, anything you want, it will take, because it doesn't need a flippin' Megastone to evolve. That is why it broke Ubers. It is so, like, the variety in it can be so incredibly bonkers that it just, it's too powerful. It's just too powerful, right? So, a lot of people, talking about items, a lot of people go with something like a Life Orb, like I said, right? A Life Orb, if you go with something like a Dragon Dance, right, which is what I did with my team that I just showed, Dragon Dance, you can actually then increase your attack. The Life Orb then gives it another 1.3 boost, so even without Dragon Dance, it's hitting hard. But now with Dragon Dance, it's a 1.8 times coming off of a 180 attack, right? Yeah, that's gonna do a crap ton, right? You could theoretically just say, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna make it an all-out attacker, and you give it, I don't know, a Choice Band for a physical, a Choice Scarf for a mixed, or a Choice Specs for a special sweeper. Excuse me. You know, and then you give it an even more powerful oomph in there. Of course, you know, you're then stuck with one move, but still, you can give it a Focus Sash. Did I talk about that one? I think I did. But anyway, a Focus Sash, you can do that because it then, you know, you can at least survive one hit. Maybe set up with that one-shot guarantee. Or you can have it there just for a little bit of protection. You could go with a Lumberry if you want to. You can go with possibly a Citrus Berry or a Rocky Helmet. Citrus Berry I don't really see happening all that much. But you can do whatever the flip you want, and it'll work. You can even get, you know, even more creative. You can give it possibly something like a Roselli Berry, right? To kind of thwart any of those fairy types out there. You could give it, I don't know, you could give it a mental herb, encore, or one of those items that actually cancels out confusion, right? I think that might actually be a mental herb, but I'm not quite sure. But anyway, there's a herb out there that actually takes confusion out of the equation, right? So you're like, okay, I now just outrage for 2 or 3 turns. Oh, I'm not confused anymore. Let's do it again. And then, you know, you can just crash the party that way. You can do, pretty much, you can do whatever the flip you want, and it will do it, right? So a lot of versatility. You kind of need to play around with it a little bit, but it's awesome, all right? Let me see. Oh, and by the way, just as a little bit of, there you are. Just as a little bit of a persuasion, just to show that this thing is just, yes, it's just way too powerful. Extreme Speed. It knows Extreme Speed, which is a very coveted move in the Pokemon realm. Extreme Speed has +2 priority, 80 power physical, so it comes off of that 180 physical attack, which is nice, right? And it will always go first. It is the, if I'm correct, it is the fastest damaging move in the game, except for maybe Sucker Punch. But it has +2 priority. So you're like, oh, I'm facing a Talonflame now, and it's gonna go for a Brave Bird. Nope, Extreme Speed. He's dead, right? So it doesn't necessarily even need the speed, although it's very good to have it, but it doesn't need it, right? It can just go for the Extreme Speed and just start hammering things left and right that way, right? So it's how about this? We all take a break for a sec. now that we had, you know, a nerdgasm all over the floor, good. It's been cleaned up. Take a break. And now let's get to actually killing this thing. Because, like I said, Rayquaza is not that common. But, here's the but. Rayquaza does appear. And when it does appear, you need to be careful for it, right? And the way you need to do that is an interesting one. So let's take a look at Showdown. Smogon usually has a couple of ideas. So this is VGC. You can go for a mixed attacker set, Life Orb, Focus Sash, Airlock, or you could go for a Swords Dance, blah blah blah. You guys can read that on your own time. Not going to do that right now. Checks and counters. Xerneas. Xerneas is, well, it's fairy, right? So it'll take a couple of the dragon hits. It doesn't take Dragon Descent very well, but if you're fighting a Xerneas that's already been set up, it will probably take, it can actually kill a Rayquaza quite easily, if it doesn't have Focus Sash, that is. Mega Salamence. Mega Salamence does outspeed Rayquaza, so you need to be careful for that. If you're fighting a Salamence, careful, okay? It will outspeed you. And of course it can OHKO you with a Draco Meteor. It can OHKO you with any kind of dragon move, to be quite honest. Now, status, you could actually, burning, if you're running a mixed sweeper, not that bad. I mean, it's gonna do some damage. You can't really use your physical attacking stuff anymore, but you can still go off of the special moves. You can go off of, well, with a special Rayquaza, you don't need to worry about that, but a physical Rayquaza, you've pretty much just been shut down. Poison, well, poison just pretty much affects anything. It is flying, so, you know, it won't get poison from toxic spikes, but, you know, just normal toxic, it'll do some damage. Let me see. Frozen, usually you'll just die, if not an OHKO, then a 2-hit KO from an ice move, because, you know, it's still a dragon type, so it's not that... It doesn't take ice very well, but pretty much all Rayquaza are very scared of paralysis. Paralysis, because it depends on its speed to hit before the other guy does, right? That's how it rakes up its kills, right? It depends on its speed. You can take care of its speed, and you've pretty much shut it down, or you've neutered it, right? Then make sure you actually finish it off. But paralysis is a huge deal for a Rayquaza. Steel types up. I don't know. The steel types do resist dragon, and they do resist flying, if I'm correct. But Rayquaza, like we saw, it can actually learn a couple of things like Earth Power, Earthquake. It can learn a couple of fire moves, and they usually have them up there, or in their set. There we go, in their set. Extreme Speed is not going to do much against a. It's not going to do much against Steel type either, but still, you know, you need to be careful. A Steel type is just a check, not necessarily a counter. And priority moves. Of course, Extreme Speed still does help with that a lot, but it's not a stab move, right? If you can get a Dragon Dance going and then with the Extreme Speed, you're pretty much set. But if you haven't used Extreme Speed, or you're burned, then a priority move, something like a Mega Kangaskhan with Sucker Punch, or a, I don't know, a Life Orb, Talonflame with Brave Bird, that can do a nice chunk of damage, and especially Ice Shard. Ice Shard is something from a Weavile, that's a priority ice move, which is not going to be all that fun for Rayquaza. So, priority moves, you can kill Rayquaza if you need to, right? One of the best ways is just to use a good fairy type, right? And possibly paralyze it, slow it down, and then finish it off quickly. But it's still difficult. You need to actually put some energy in there and some thoughts to make sure you know how to kill this thing, right? So last, before we shut today's episode down, we're going to take a look at some of the things that we have here. Now this is the battle calculator. There we go. I'm gonna go with the blank set. I'm gonna use the same set that I used in the past. This is a Mega Rayquaza mixed attacker with a life orb, right? And I'm gonna set it against a Greninja with Ice Beam. I'm gonna set it against a water. No, not water. Scald. There you are. I'm gonna set it against Grass Knot. And the other one's Protect, so I don't care about that. I'm gonna give it a Life Orb as well. There we go. I'm gonna give it Protean ability. Where are you? Yeah, there we are, Protean. Gonna give it a Timid Nature, just to outspeed everything. And this is the exact same Greninja that I keep using during both Primals, just to kind of show that this thing could, in theory, check or counter all three of the weather trios, right? And just to show that it's a very versatile Pokemon, right? It's an idea. Now let's take a look at this. Let me see. Let me see. An Ice Beam is going to be a one-hit KO on a Rayquaza, right? Now this isn't singles, so okay, but it is a this is during strong wind, so Ice Beam does a crap ton without strong wind. With strong wind, it's still going to do a crap ton. You kind of do need the Life Orb to do it. If you use something like an Expert Belt, you have a possibility of not one-shotting it, right? Now this is without any investment, of course. Most of them don't actually invest into its defense or special defense, but that can change, so be careful. So the Life Orb Greninja, with little investment in special defense for the Rayquaza, is going to one-shot it, right? And that's during strong wind. Let me see. Now you could also set up a light screen. Let's say you have a Klefki next to it and it sets up a light screen. You're not gonna one-shot it. You're not gonna one-shot it. It will one-shot you very easily. Dragon Ascent is going to kill you. Extreme Speed is going to almost kill you. Earthquake is probably gonna kill you, and Draco Meteor is going to kill you. So you know, you need to kind of be careful with this thing. And if it has a Dragon Dance and then Extreme Speed, you're dead, right? You can't fight that. A Greninja cannot fight that. It will have a. How do we get a +1 here? It will kill you. Because, yeah, see, we just did a +1 there and a +1 in speed. First of all, it's also going to outspeed you now, if I'm correct, that is. I'm not quite sure. It may actually... no, okay, it's going to outspeed. So, Rayquaza is now going to outspeed you. The Mega Rayquaza is going to outspeed. And even if it didn't, Extreme Speed is just going to kill you. So, careful, Greninja is a pretty good matchup, but only if the Rayquaza hasn't actually set up yet. Let's take a look at Garchomp, actually, now that I'm on it. This is just a couple of things that I've done. You know what? Why don't we go for a VGC 2016 Physical Attacker? Change a couple of things around. Dragon Claw. Why don't we go for an Outrage? There we go. Jolly Nature. This is it gonna outspeed, really? Let's say it doesn't have that. Oh, wait, am I doing something wrong? I am doing something wrong. Hold on a sec. Greninja blanks. No, I was doing it fine. I was doing it alright. Okay. Yeah, I'm good. Okay. The reason why I was just, looking around a little bit is because, it's levels. There were, certain levels, and I wanted to make sure that when I actually compared Greninja, it was the correct level. No, I'm a doof. Okay, so, VGC 16, I'm gonna increase its level to level 100. I'm getting kind of to the same level, right? They could also be to level 50. You know what? Why don't we actually look at level 50? But theoretically, it shouldn't necessarily change too much about it. So because they're both the same level, so it should be fine. ability doesn't really... Well, no. Rough Skin would... where we go? Where's Rough Skin? Does it not have Rough Skin? Where's Rough Skin? Come on. Huh. Well, they'll need to look at this thing for a sec. Need to look at some of the items on this thing. But all right. Let's say we give it a. Let's say we give it a Y4. Why not? Why not give it a Y4? Actually, you know what? No, yeah, okay. Let's yeah, okay. Let's give it a Y4. Let's just give it a Y4 for shits and giggles. Okay, so let me see. Dragon Claw is going to almost kill it. You have a very, very, very high % chance that it's going to one-shot it. Earthquake is going to do 0. Protect, well, we don't care. Rock Slide is not going to do all that much. Draco Meteor will kill you, unless you have a Focus Sash, but it will kill you. Dragon Ascent, probably kill you. Earthquake, it's going to do a crap ton of damage, but it's not going to kill you in one shot anyway. Extreme Speed, not going to kill you in one shot. Now, were we to actually go for... Let me see. Oh, no, hold on a sec. Hold on. I'm pretty sure Garchomp actually outspeeds. Does Garchomp outspeed? Come on. Okay, so 102. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so a Garchomp will not outspeed a Mega Rayquaza, right? It will not. I was mistaken in that it will not. However, it will outspeed it when it Mega Evolves. You have one turn to outspeed Rayquaza, and that is because when you actually Mega Evolve, the speed has still actually been, it's already been set, right? Which is a bit of a trick, but the speed has already been set. So even though you've already Mega Evolved, you still can necessarily go slower than Garchomp, right? Garchomp will outspeed you, but only on that one turn. Then it's gonna kill you, right? So if it doesn't have Protect, which it may, to get a nice good, to get a good switch in, it may Protect. If it does, then you're kind of screwed. If it doesn't, then you have one chance to actually nail it. And otherwise it's just gonna kill you. Let me see. And the thing is, with these guys, let me see. You know what? We'll blow up Hydreigon just to. No, actually, we'll go with Salamence, Mega Salamence. And the reason why this is kind of like that is, well, actually, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure why the reason is, but it's also a kind of an interesting one because with Mega Sableye, it kind of does the same thing. Mega Sableye, if you have Prankster before, it registers that, and then when you Mega Evolve, you still have one turn to actually use Prankster. So you have a nice defense, but you can still Prankster Will-O-Wisp or whatever you want on your opponents for one turn, which is a nice bonus. Okay, so this is a Mega Salamence with Double Edge, Hyper Voice, Draco Meteor, and Protect. Now, if you have full investment, a Mega Salamence will be faster, right? It will be faster. It's probably not gonna one-shot you, alright? I'm gonna say that right now. It's probably not gonna one-shot you. Even Draco Meteor is not gonna do all that much. I mean, you could probably work around with a couple of these things. But Draco Meteor is gonna do a crap ton, but it's not gonna kill him. The Double Edge is also gonna do a nice chunk, but it's also gonna do a nice chunk on you. And then Rayquaza comes in and just hammers you with a Draco Meteor, and there you go, you're dead. If you can pull off a Dragon Dance, then you have a better shot, right? Then Double Edge will do some more. Draco Meteor, no, of course not, but nah, I'm not going to switch around. But the thing is, dealing with a Rayquaza, that's kind of the point I'm trying to get to. Dealing with a Rayquaza is tough. You only have a very limited window before it actually comes down and rains, you know, some sort of creepy, oogie fire that will melt your bones and turn your flesh to, like, powder. You have a very limited chance, right? If you can do it, but it's limited. Another thing you could potentially do is actually just use Ditto. Let it kill one of your Pokemon, like let your opponent's Rayquaza kill one of your Pokemon, then you use Ditto with Imposter and a Choice Scarf, you take him, and then you just one-shot him with Extreme Speed, or you go for some sort of Dragon move or something like that. That's an option that I usually use. But the thing is, dealing with still a Rayquaza, very, very, very difficult to deal with if you're not prepared, right? You need to have something in there where you're like, okay, this will kill it, or think about it at least, right? So that's all I'm gonna say about that. I've been talking about too much and I've been rambling on, and you probably are getting bored by it by now, so I'm gonna stop right now. So anyway, that's Rayquaza, the monster of whatever the flip it is. Some person was high and was thinking evil thoughts when he came up with this thing, but it's still really cool. So I like working with it. So thank you all so much for watching. Next time, I don't really know what we're going to be doing, but we're going to go on to the next legendary. We may go to the to Lugia and Ho-Oh. We could actually go to Xerneas, Yveltal, and Zygarde. We could, I don't know, we could go to Mew, no, not Mew, Mew you can't use, Mewtwo you could use, and the multiple Megas you can go with that. So we'll see, we'll find something, right? So I hope you guys are enjoying it. I certainly am, learning about all these different kinds of threats out there, and why VGC 2016 pretty much threw the entire meta of doubles on its head. But I look forward to doing more stuff. So thank you all again, and I will see you next time. And I wish everyone on the opposite side of the screen, I'm talking very fast, it's kind of weird, a very pleasant day. Goodbye!